afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, whenever you are watching this. Welcome to a little Isle of Fitness podcast with myself, Sean Clifford, owner operator of Isle of Fitness, and Mr. David Reel, who is joining us today for a celebratory conversation. This chat is about recognizing David and the work that he has done with myself over the past year, where he was 1 year ago, where he is today. But before we get into that, before I get David roped into this conversation, I want to share a bit with you, the viewer on YouTube or my Instagram page, who I am. My name is Sean. I'm, like I said, I run Isle of Fitness. I'm a former obese, exhausted, hopeless feeling dad that thought it was game over. I hit a rock bottom on December 30th, 2018, by actually looking in the mirror for the first time in probably the guts of a year. I took a look at myself in the mirror and I was like, I cannot live this way any longer. I did not know if it was possible to even make healthy changes, but I just knew that I couldn't go back. 18 months later, after losing 35 pounds, I thought, okay, that was not easy, but it was simple. And then I started my own journey to, okay, I think I want to, no, I don't think, I want to help other dads experience what I have just done, because how I felt after making these changes was so amazing. In the last, what are we on, 3.5 years ish? Oh, actually 4 years of coaching other dads, other men. I have helped one to one hundreds of men and women and around 170 dads to date. I love this work. I love the changes that it brings about, but it's built on common sense and consistency rather than miserable diets, fads, dodgy drugs or supplements or drugs or pills or whatever. It's good old fashioned lifestyle changes in baby step habit changes. My old lifestyle got me to a place where I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I adjusted my habits to get me to a place where I now love. I'm still an arsehole dad and husband, but I am happy and I am healthy and I try my best. With that, I want to welcome warmly to the conversation, Mr. David Rayl. David, thank you so much today for spending the time on this Thursday afternoon to chat about what you have achieved over this last year, mate. Thank you so much.
Yeah, happy to be here. Commemoratively, I decided to sit in the same exact spot in the same pavilion where we had our initial conversation, which, by the way, I don't know if you know or not, was 1 year and 1 day ago from today.
Incredible, absolutely incredible,
August
mate.
20. Yeah, yeah.
So before we started the recording for this, I was like, David, is that the place? Is this the pavilion? And he said, yeah. Very quickly, 1 year ago, David jumped on a call with me. I was a stranger, an Irish stranger from Instagram, and we had a bit of back and forth in the Instagram DMs. He checked me out, and to the point where he would spend time on a actual phone call with a stranger from the internet. These days, I know, especially with my work, I'm an online coach. What that means, you're skeptical, you are you know, uh, full of doubt. But of course, that was not to be the case here. And David, love that we are having this conversation 1 year and 1 day later. First question to you. This is completely unscripted, by the way. I don't know. I think this is, I'm hoping it's for the best, okay? And apologies, David, to you if this goes belly up. But David, let's go back 1 year and 1 day ago. Me and you are having this conversation. I can't even believe it's that long ago because it feels like it's flown by. How were you feeling at that point before you even jumped in the call with me? Before we were speaking, how were you feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually?
Um, Tired of being a fat fuck. Just ready for change. Feeling a little afraid, based because I was getting on a call. I was going to be moving possibly into a space in my life that was going to be some more accountability involved if I was going to get to where I wanted to be. I knew that. I knew that that was going to be required. So and then hard work. So there was some fear, but I think if I recollect the call too, there was some excitement for sure because I was ready. I know that I was ready
Why were you ready?
because I was tired of being exhausted and out of shape and eating everything in my sight and just being a couch potato and just my life revolved around TV and streaming and I just forgot what it was like to be outside and walking and enjoying nature and enjoying just healthier foods and taking care of myself and yeah. That's where I was. I mean, I
Yeah.
was miserable. I was downright miserable.
Can I ask you? I'm glad I think you're not miserable anymore, which is awesome. But what were you afraid of? What were you afraid of talking to me? You didn't know me, but what were you know, this is, for me, David, I'm talking to guys on Instagram. They see the receipts, they see the evidence. They still like can be skeptical and like, is this for me or is this am I special? But what were you afraid of? Like anxious about talking to me?
So, of course, there's a number of things, and you pointed them out in the beginning, and they would be, you don't know what you're going to get on the internet. You're just waiting for the sales pitch, or just waiting for whatever it is. Everybody's skeptical of that, first of all, right? I don't want to be sold to, but I knew I needed to be sold to in some respect. Of course, that's going to happen. We're all in sales, whether it's at home with our families or whatever it is. We're selling something, but there was fear of not knowing what the program was. I mean, again, I'd done my research. I had watched your videos. I had seen some of the results and all, but everybody's individual, right? So it depends on each individual. To your famous words, it's your work, your results, right? Um, and not knowing, the costs, of course, being a little concerned about the cost there. So yeah, there was there was a lot of unknowns, right? That you don't know what you're getting into. You don't know what the
Hmm.
program is. You don't know what's expected of you. You don't know how long it's going to be. Like, and then you don't know what 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 your part of that is going to be, and
Hmm.
how you're going to really like motivate me, get
Hmm.
me there, to help me get
Hmm.
there.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You're exactly right. What for me now, and I think for you, for everyone, like everyone's online, right? So many businesses, every business is online now, and if you're not online, you're not going to make like I think that would be a fair to say. And of course, when and you're in the social media space, anyone can put up stuff, and you do have to do your due diligence on, okay, look at the guy or the girl or the business or whatever, and look at the receipts. But there has to be a point in my experience where, like, look, if I'm showing you David, you know, on and off for a year in his progress, and I'm showing you, Billy, and I'm showing you Ralph, and I'm showing you Joey, and you're like, again, that's part of it as well. It's like, okay, people are establishing trust there. But with us, for me and you, there wasn't that much of a relationship or history. But let's say you made the leap, you drew the line, you drew the motherfucking line, and you took that step and you placed your trust in me to help support you do this work. Can I ask you, David? Our starting place was 260 pounds, low energy. You felt like shit. Um, can you remember back a year ago, starting off, what it was kind of like, those initial days and even weeks or months now, felt like?
Yeah. So first off, it was 261. Let's get that straight.
What did I say? I did say 261. I'll never
You
forget
said
it.
260.
261.
Um, so what was it like? Well, first of all, there was a lot of excitement once we got past the setup, once we made the decision, once I got the program rolled out, which was quickly, right? We jumped right in. I said, let's do it.
Yeah.
And you got it right together for me and we jumped right in. So
Can I ask you, this is so
yeah,
important. You're saying stuff that is so important. Why was there, you've gone from fear and skepticism and
yeah.
anxiety to
Yeah.
excitement? Why? What were you excited about?
Well, you got the fear out of the way once the conversation happened. Once I trusted you.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm a listen, we're all different, but we're all still kind of the same, right? We're all having that fear level thing going on. We're all afraid of the money. We're all afraid, what's the money? What's the money going to be? But I went into it looking at it from the beginning. Before we even got on the call, I went into it looking at it as an investment. This was going to be an investment in my health and my future, right? I'm on medications, was on medications, blood pressures, anxiety. I just wanted enough. I had enough. I don't want to be on those for life medications, right? Because that's what they are. They're for life, unless you do
Hmm.
something about it. So it once you cleared that, once the financial was out of the way, the game plan was set. Now it's time to get to work,
Yeah.
right? So the game plan's laid out there. Now you see it, right? I got it in front of me. I can see what's expected of me,
Yeah.
right? And here I go. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can
Yeah.
do that. I can walk. I can walk, right? This is the biggest thing. First of all, let's get the fuck out there and walk. Excuse my
Yeah.
language.
No,
Um,
that's all
and
good.
then and then what did you do? You gave me a damn, you gave me a plan for eating, right? Calories, fat, carbs, protein, macros, right? Learn how to eat. It's still not easy when you got that laid out, but it's a template. There's your template to start, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And then you start slowly figuring out these meal preps and how to put these meals together. Now I can look at my plate and I pretty much know the calories that are on my plate.
Yeah.
I know how to eat now. I can look at my chicken and know how much chicken I got on my plate, how much it's
Yeah.
weighing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can look at it, right? I know how much if I want to have mashed potatoes, I know how much mashed potatoes I can eat. I can look at a scoop or a cup, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
once that game plan was laid out, the excitement kicked in because now I'm
Yeah.
like the adrenaline started flowing. Right now, it's
Yeah.
time to get to work. That's what that was like.
I love David as well. When you've gone from feeling like shit and you want to change, but what does the path to change look like? Is that even possible? And
Yeah,
where I specialize in is helping dads that are feeling like shit, that want to lose at least 40 pounds. Here is your pathway. And that was your pathway. That wasn't cookie cutter Joe Bloggs' pathway. It's always the fundamentals are in place. Like, hey, here's the break, here's how we're going to break down a meal, but here's how your budget for you at 261, how you here's your exercise for you at 261, taking into consideration injuries, impingements, whatever. So again, you've gone from like, I want to make changes, is this even possible, I'm scared, to wow, here's the game plan, here's my game plan. Now everything
and
feels so much more accessible and doable. It's doable. And you're like, shit, I just have to do, if I do this for 3 months, I'm going to lose, I don't know what you lost, like 30 pounds maybe or something. Um, but yeah, I love that, it goes to that excitement of like, wow, now I just take the first steps and I'm on my way.
it's personalized. It's an individual program. I'm not a cookie cutter. I am an individual. And to expand quickly, I won't dig too deep, but as we've continued to work together, because obviously we've worked together for a year now, because my pathway just kept continuing, and I was like, let's just keep doing this shit. My program has changed. You've tailored it for me each time, each marker along the way, which has been working fantastic for me.
And as you get along, as you go along and you're making more progress, it doesn't get easier, you only get stronger. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to keep leveling up to keep pushing and making that progress, which we'll talk about what that's looked like. We go into, I want to touch on winter. Winter time, this was a fear going into winter last year. What a winter it was, winter of 2024. Tell me about winter, walking through winter. And I was talking about you, David, last night to another partner about how they went. It's a new partner that's just starting up with me, and we are going to be going into we're going to go into fall, and we're going to go into winter. What was
Yeah.
that like going into winter last year? Obviously, we had a bit of momentum behind us starting in September. But tell me from your point of view, what was winter like going into that?
So I mean, we started in September, so we had September, at the beginning of October. Then, as you know, I traveled. I went away for 2 weeks, but I had gotten a base, so I had an idea. So when I traveled, I put myself in a good spot. I was careful with my eating, and even though I didn't know everything, I was just careful, and I was making sure I was moving. And as you know, I ended up losing 5 pounds while I was away for 2 weeks in another country. Um, and so when I came back, of course, I was continuing my work and my walking and when winter hit, it was a different game, and nobody is excited to get outside when the wind chill is whipping your face and ripping it off, and which that's what it was doing this winter. And let's be honest, Sean and I were messaging back and forth on the app at times while we were both walking. We could barely hear each other because the winds were whipping and we're screaming at the wind. And then we started by March, I think it was, we started saying, let's embrace the wind. Let's just embrace it. This wind feels fucking great, doesn't it? Just love the wind. This wind. I mean, there were messages I sent Sean where I was cursing in the message as the wind was blowing, and he couldn't hear the curse, and it was like a comedy bit or something.
The famous line in that video was, "This wind can kiss my fucking ass," while the wind was bleeping about the curse words. Is so good.
Yeah, so
You
it was
did.
a challenge, but it was the more you got into it, again, the more you start challenging yourself. And that wind, you start feeling energy from the cold. You start digging into that energy. You're like, you know what? This feels pretty good. And then when you reflect on it after you're walking in 115-degree heat in the summer, you go, oh, the fucking wind wasn't too bad.
Ready for the wind. We're ready for that winter wind. Let's dig into that, right? This work, David, as you now know, it's not smooth sailing. It's not always easy. It's not always roses or rainbows. It is getting up in the dark in the fucking freezing cold and getting the work done, whether you feel like it or not. Can I ask you what was the most challenging um aspects? And you can say, like, I just did not like this, this part of the work for you. What was the most challenging or negative aspect of your work on your program over the last year? And feel free to say whatever you want.
So, as you know, others don't, but I was never a workout guy. I played a lot of sports, but lifting or any of that stuff, I was never a gym guy. I never did a bunch of workouts. I would get into the gym for a week or two at a time, blah, 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 blah. But now with my program, I was expected to put in the work, and that was 3 days a week of lifts and 7 days a week doing something, right? Moving, getting your ass moving. So there was one challenge, doing something 7 days a week. You're building new habits. And that's what I found. I'm just building new habits. The more I do them, the more I push through them. Still hate leg day, but I know it's important to do. So I've embraced it in different ways. I've learned how to embrace the challenges. Sometimes, again, just getting out there. Sometimes I just want to take Sunday and say, fucking don't want to do anything. So challenging myself to get out there 7 days a week, just to walk. It's just a simple walk. It's not difficult, but you've learned bad habits, right? You've learned to just put the recliner back, kick your shoes off. So the hard part is doing the fucking work. It's challenging yourself to do the work, because at the end of the day, no matter what program you have, it's on you. You have to be ready to do the work. And that means those days when you slip, or if you're sore and you don't feel like doing the work, or the days where you have a hankering to grab a burger or a cheesesteak, do it. Get it the fuck out of your system, and then get right back on the horse again.
Yeah.
It's not going to kill you. You're not the worst person in the world to have one day that just happens like that. Just let it go and
Yeah.
move forwards. Forgive yourself. You're still a good person. It's
Yeah.
not the end of the world. You got to just get back on and just keep moving forward. Maybe a 2.5 pound gain over the weekend, during that 43% of your week, it's going to happen. And it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. just get back on the fucking train, get back on the horse, just get back and start doing the work again. And you'll just a couple more days, you'll hold on to the weight, the salt weight, the water weight, whatever the
Yeah.
hell it is, and then it'll drop. It'll happen. It
Um,
can't not happen if you do the work.
if you do it, and it's so important as well, David, like you're coming out here and we're gonna and I actually looked at your measurements there to see your total, like what you've shed to date, in addition to the scale or whatever. But you have achieved a life-changing result, and you had the challenges and you had the indulgences, you had planned and breaks, and you had unplanned breaks. But as you
Mm.
said, you were consistent. And when you are consistent, it's not about being perfect. People, myself included back in the day, wanted to be perfect. And I used a slip up as an excuse to say, fuck it. I obviously I've just derailed my whole. If I had lost 30 pounds and I gained 2 pounds, well, let's just put on 28 pounds again, 28 more pounds. That's where so many of us, slip. And there's a part of us that does not want to do this work, and it wants to use the slip as the cover to say, well, I failed and I'm just going to slide back. You, like anyone doing this work, like myself, you have the stumbles, you have the face plants, you have the fuck ups, but as you say, you get back up and you do the work again, because that's what adults do. Yeah. If you said that, if your children or grandchildren, made a mistake, you'd be like, well, that's your life over. You may as well just stop doing what you say. No, okay, that was a mistake or whatever it was. We go again, and that's why you, David, have achieved something amazing. Okay, we talked about the challenges. So leg day, love it. Also, David, how many, you hit leg day, but how many 5Ks did you run last week?
4.
4. How many 5Ks did I ask you to run last week?
0.
I love
So,
connect. Yeah, go for it.
so I unlocked the cheat code for the younger generation out there that plays the video games and knows the cheat code stuff. I unlocked the cheat code, and that was um I realized that sometimes in the morning I'd wake up after a fantastic day the day before, and my weight would not move. I'd be pegged for days. Me and Sean would laugh at this because it would just be stuck. Like, how the hell is this stuck? And I'd just be stuck there and stuck there and stuck there. And then eventually I'd drop. My loss would go ding 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 and boom boom. Ding 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 boom. But recently I decided one morning it was hot. And I said, you know what, I was pegged, so I jumped out and I said, I'll go for a run. I want to see how it feels to run. So I get out and I started running. I was like, this feels pretty good. Like, I didn't expect to be at a point where I'd be running again. And I was like, started running. And then I came back, I got on the scale, and the scale dropped. So I was gunning for 191 last week. As you know, that was my 70-pound number. And I was getting there no matter what. So every morning I got up and I just ran a fucking 5K. I didn't just run a 5K. I ran a 5K in my development, which is full of hills. So, and it was first thing in the morning. So it was a tough run every day, but I did it. And every time, as I said to Sean, one of the things I would do is as I was getting to those hills, I just put my eyes down in front of me and just did the old one foot in front of the other. So the old don't look at the destination. It's about the journey. And we have had many discussions over the past year about enjoying this fucking journey, which I have enjoyed the journey. And it
Yeah.
has. It's been so much fucking fun and hurt and pain, but it's great. It's the journey. I'm enjoying it. I don't want a destination. I'm just still going.
Yeah.
So we've and I can expand on this, but Sean's like, when I was around 200 and I couldn't break that 200 mark, I was just stuck there. And it was, I knew it was me. I was sabotaging it mentally. I just couldn't get my mental part. I said to Sean, I don't have another level. I don't have another level. I can't get another level. I'm done. I'm good. And he's just like, just keep doing the work, just keep doing the work. And then, because your brain's like, nah, you're not gonna get in the 190s, you're not gonna get in the 190s. Sean's like, I see you in the 170s, maybe the 180s. I'm like, back off, relax, let's get to the 190s first. And now just like that, I'm under 200 and I hit 191. So I'm like, yeah.
Boom, boom,
Ooh,
70 pounds,
yeah.
70.6 pounds. You got down to 190.4. So I
70.8 pounds because this morning I hit 190.2. I would
okay,
like to say I was at
70.8
189.
pounds. Just a moment. Seriously, David, congratulations, my man. Like, you had the famous line, "I'm sick of being a miserable fat fuck." Like, I will never forget that. I used that in one of my posts like a year ago. It was that energy. I hated being a fat dad. I hated feeling like a fat slob. I hated feeling like a chubby, schlubby hubby. And you drew that line. You have done the work, and you have achieved just an inspiring result, like 70.8 pounds. It's amazing, but it's the work, what's gone in to see that number there is the most important thing. How does it
So
feel? How does it go for it? Yep.
let me add something. So this morning, I didn't put in my stats and trainer eyes. So Sean didn't know that. I was holding when I got on the scale this morning, I was 191.5. So I was annoyed. I was like, I had a burger last night. So I got up this morning and I was like, I gotta get back under 191. I was like, I'm going out. So I got up, I didn't log anything. I was like, head out to the trail. Sean don't know this either. So here's what I did this morning. I got a name for this, Sean. I did a rock and roll, rock and run. All right.
Okay.
So I put on my best music and I dropped 54 pounds on and I did a 3 mile rock. I came back to my truck. I dropped the weight and I ran 3 miles without the weight. So I did
Unreal.
6 miles total, 3 mile rock and a 3 mile run. And I came back and I got on the scale, I was 190.2. So that was a 1.3 pound drop. And it was a bear. But man, you just talk about you open these new doors and you're like I'm feeling so excited now, like of where I am, and now I've unlocked running and Rocky, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, 180s, yeah, like I'm not done. I'm not ready to get back on my couch. I'm fucking doing the work, and whatever comes,
Okay.
comes.
Okay. Important. Why are you not ready to go back on the couch?
Because there ain't no way I'm going back there. There ain't no way I'm going
Why?
back because
Why?
I
Tell
feel
us
too
why.
good. I feel fantastic. I'm living again, man. I feel fantastic. I want to get out. I want to get out. I want to hike trails. I want to go to parks and hike a park. I want to experience outside again. I want to experience nature. It's where I feel my best. Like, how can you not feel your best breathing in the fresh air and being around the trees and the birds and just the animals, the wildlife, where we're meant to be and where you just feel the best instead of being cooped up in your hen house, with your four walls and your stupid and your TV or your scrolling, it's just it's a new life.
There's a popcorn question there for me, David. How has this work helped your mental health?
It's put me back into a better frame of mind where, I would say 6, 7 years ago, I think I was strong mentally. I had a strong mental outlook, even though I was still weight gaining because I had other stress going on, but I had a strong mental outlook. And then somewhere during COVID and after I lost it, and I got back into the complaining. I was joining the water for conversation that people call it, right? The group mentality, everybody complains and we all jump on board. And I knew I needed that wasn't working for me. And, it's the old saying, right? Do the same thing over and over again, expect different results is insanity, right? So I started trying to see positive again. I'm still working on that because there's a lot of negative around us every day, and social media stuff doesn't help. So, if you're trying to get more positive flow, more positive things in my life to make me feel, happier and more positive about life, because it's so damn short. That's so damn short.
It is, and it's I lived that time where I was not living life feeling good and doing this work to, be healthier. Again, I'm still an arsehole and mindful of that, but I'm genuinely happy now, and I'm healthy and fit. And that unburdening, David, of that weight for me, and I can assume for you, that unburdening physically of that physical weight, just permeates everything. And I'm so glad that you are, feeling much better. Speaking with that, so what is like some of the big wins for you doing this work? Okay, just was asking there, David. Some of the what were the positives, the biggest wins of this work over the last year?
Yeah. So the weight gain, I mean, the weight loss, the weight loss obviously is number one. Mobility. I mean, just the mobility, the ability to run again. Like I didn't see myself running again. As you know, I put on roller skates. I played hockey. I've done some of that. I mean, what were some of the, obviously just checking myself, I don't even like, I see myself, um, when I want to go out with the boys, like my drinking has dropped tremendously. When I have had those weekends of, as we call it, fuckery, um, I don't like feeling shit for 3 days because that's what it feels like, 56 years old or almost 56. Those hangovers lasted a little longer. I don't like those feelings anymore. So I like taking care of myself now. I like treating this like my temple, you know what I mean? It's you had just mentioned, I don't want to go too far off track here, but you had mentioned, being happy and all. And it's like, I don't know, we're also searching for that golden happiness and that, that smile, smile, joy, joy. And I don't need to be happy, happy. I don't need to be this glowing goofball happiness. I just want to more peaceful, right? Like we
Yeah.
all just want kind of like some peace and to have some joy in our life when we desire. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I just feel so much better, Sean. You know what I mean? It just feels so much better. There's just more clarity. They're just, and the eating decisions have even, like I've cleaned up my eating even, like as I've made better eating choices. Now I'm even changing some of that to change I'm just constantly working on myself, constantly a work in progress, right? I mean,
Yeah.
just to try to keep this body working for as long as it can, healthy, right? One of the first things we talked about early on was, just being able to walk when I'm 80 years old. I don't want somebody helping me, and I don't want this to be on my kids. I want to be able to, want to be mobile and self-sufficient as I can for as long as I can. And it's not too late. I'm
Hmm.
55. I was 71 pounds overweight, and no pills, just all properly doing a program that an Irish dude I happened to run into on Instagram happened to throw out there, and he spoke to me. He spoke to me, and I was like, all right, let's give this a whirl.
You're down 70.8 pounds. I took a look at your stats. You've shed, David, I think it's something like 161 centimeters off your measurements, or that's 64 inches off your measurements. So that's over 5 feet. And if you go to my Instagram page, you'll see it someplace around there, wherever you watch this. David will be around in those before and after pictures there. Can I ask you, am I correct in assuming that you're off your medications that you were taking before?
No medications at all, zero medications. Um, Clothing, I was in a 2XL, and this is big. I can be in a medium right now. Waistline, I was at a 40. I probably could have been in a 42. And now I'm ready to hit at 32. So I'm looking at probably 32 pant and probably medium shirt shortly.
Yeah.
And for anybody else who's like overweight and you're worried about like the skin and all that, it's just skin, first of all. Just let it be. But if you keep doing the work, like one thing I'm noticing is I had 70 pounds and it was a lot around the waistline, it was a lot around the gut. And because that's kind of where my family carries it, and I'm still not where I want to be. It's some of that, but but it's tightening up. It is.
Yeah.
It's happening. You know, it can't not, right? It's not the best. I'm not gonna never gonna look like I have a, you know, 6 pack or an 8 pack, but
Well, you
um
can if you want it. You can if you
if
want it.
but you're right, you're right. And maybe I will because I'm
So,
working it and it's looking a lot better.
and just with that, David, work together for a year, 70, close to 71 pounds there. That's like 1 point something pounds a week over the year.
Hmm.
This is nice and sustainable. Yeah.
Yes,
Versus
yes,
people do suffer from, a lot of loose skin when they do the crash diet.
yeah,
And before there's a couple more things I want to ask you, David. I want to be
yeah.
respectful of your time. Number one, how was your experience of working with me as your coach over the last year?
I want my money. I mean, what a prick. No, quite honestly, it's been a pleasure. Like the customized program to the availability, the, the Trainer Eyes app for us to be able to just speak back and forth whenever, just throw messages out to each other, throw pictures out to each other, your accessibility, your vulnerability, your um, the fact that you've done the work just all contributes, plus the fact that you're a good human being.
Mm,
That's number one. And
for
that's
sure.
probably for me, that was at the top of the poll. We met, I looked at you, we talked, and I said, this is a good guy. And to me, that's what it goes. I'm a gut buyer. I'm a heart buyer. If I like you, I'm probably going to buy from you. And I know a lot of people are like that. I trust my gut. It's not about the money for me. Not that I'm rich, but I buy based on somebody I do appreciate. And I appreciate my time that we've had, like more than my words could ever say.
It's been some experience, man. We've got a week and a bit left here, okay, before you go on and just keep killing it and living this as your lifestyle, your
Yeah.
identity as David Reel, a man that looks after himself. Um, speaking of that, can I ask you, was the investment of your time, your energy, and financials worth it over the last year?
And then some. Yes, 100%. Again, your effort, your results, mindfulness. I can't, that word will always stick with me. You have to be mindful. Just be mindful of everything, and as much as you can. It's so important. But if you're willing to do the work, you have to be mentally checked in. You mentally check into this, and you can't fail. You
Mm-hmm.
can't.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah,
Especially when you're ready to feel better.
yes.
What piece of advice would you give to dads, David, that are looking at me and they are seeing the before and afters and they are seeing videos like this and they are wanting to explore making their own changes as well?
Yeah. Sean's the real deal. I mean, it's not like he's not a, I don't know, he's not a this corporate business entity. He's just a regular guy. That's what I've always seen you as. I don't, you're not shredded. No offense. Um, Sean's he's a guy who's done the work who just wants to help people. Like there's no doubt if you've anybody who's worked with him, if they ever said that you're not out to help them, then they're either they just didn't know you. I don't know what to say if anybody has ever said that, but I can't imagine it. Um, you know, when people care. There's somebody had an old saying like people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care, and you come right at it with caring. It's partner yourself with somebody that you like and feel that they're going to care about you. Sean will care about you. He cares about your results. He wants the best for you. And that's something that's what's perfect for him about doing this because he loves it. And they say when you love what you do, you really never work a day in your life. Not sure as Sean works, but it's
Well, it
he
does.
loves what he does, and it comes across in everyday dealing with him.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I love you, and it's just been a pleasure. And we're only just beginning. You're only just beginning. Can I ask you, are you are you ever fucking going back?
Never going fuck back. Never going back.
Never fucking going back.
Never going back. No,
Why?
it's because I don't want to be a miserable fat fuck. I just don't want to. I don't want that lifestyle again. Listen. The one thing when I've had my fuckery weekends, the most amazing thing that I would find about them, I could go out on a Saturday and I could plug down a 6 pack or an 8 pack, and then I could throw down a couple, 4 or 5 shots. And one of the most amazing things that I found is that I'll get up on Sunday morning and generally I'm going out some point during the day. I'm getting my miles in. It's planning. I want it and I'll get it done. So
Yeah.
it's just part of my existence. I want that every day.
Love it, love it.
Yeah.
David, before I'm going to just do a sign off here, with people that are watching, and then I'm going to stop this recording here. So please don't get off here. I want to say thank you, David, to you for taking the time to, chat about this last year. Life changing work. It's inspirational, mate. And, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for everything. Obviously, we're not going to be done talking, but if I could say to anybody out here, Sean's a real pleasure to work with. He'll always be there for you. He'll listen to you, which is really nice. He's not just trying to plant seeds in your head. He's really listening. So if you're suffering with something, you're struggling, you got to reach out. Don't be silly, Billy. Reach the fuck out and say something. Like I've had instances during working out where I wasn't enjoying some of the lifts and I needed to work around them somehow. So he just changed the lifts up for me. Just got to speak out. And if you're not sure, just ask. Like if you're hurting doing something, don't do it. Do a video or ask John. Maybe you're doing it wrong. Just make sure you verbalize that and he'll help you get on the right track. Don't waste your money on a program doing things the wrong way. Make sure you understand and ask the questions.
Yep.
He'll steer you the right way. And I can tell you from my own experience, anybody ever needs to ask, or Sean always knows that I'm available for a referral, a talk, or anybody ever wants to call me. And I don't ask for anything. Sean doesn't need to give me a referral dime. I'm willing to help anybody who wants help and needs just a referral or whatever to talk about. Please
Well, I
reach
love
out.
it. Well, I love you, mate, and thank you. And like you said, it's like, if you're signing up, if you're investing in a program with a coach that support you doing the work, don't try and do everything yourself. Use me. If you're
Yeah.
using a coach.
Yeah.
David, thank you. If you are a dad and you are feeling like crap and you want to lose and keep off at least 40 pounds, for me, my approach is you do the lifestyle changes in baby step habit changes, progress over perfection. We don't do a diet. We make dietary changes, have carbs, have treats, have beer. Okay. We do a training program that's built around you. We're getting a bit more sleep, getting those steps in, drinking a bit more water, getting protein in every meal, practicing those no thank yous, practicing what I call the internal shut the fuck up, get the fuck outs, building that internal discipline. Yeah. So that you build habits that train you leaner, fitter, stronger, healthier, happier. Instead of, hey, cut out carbs, cut out treats, don't have any sugar, don't eat solid food, take pills. It's not sustainable and it's not going to lead you to a life and a lifestyle that you love. If you are interested, reach out to me, Sean at isleoffitness.com, and my email, or DM me weight loss in Instagram to chat. Not give me your credit card number. It has to be a good fit. I don't want to work with you for 12 weeks on your launch program if it's not a good fit. It's too much a length of time, and it has to be a good fit for both of us. And I want you going into that program like David, going from feeling anxious and nervous to, wow, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to take that first step. David, thank you again. We're going to be chatting here. I'm going to get off. Please, if you can find me at Instagram at Isle of Fitness, or my YouTube channel as well, which maybe you're watching this on YouTube. Have a great day. And if you're a dad that's struggling, don't feel alone. Reach out. And besides even getting coaching, just reach out for tips or reach out for some support. Don't struggle by yourself. Cheers.